Hey guys, this is Tavi. I'm doing a commentary video on Shogun 2 Total War, and the battle map is Chubu Pass, and my opponent is Sapper PL, so he's a Polish guy. And we are fighting over the command of 3 key buildings, a workshop, which gives the owner an increase in armor and melee defense, an archery dojo, which increases the power of your missile units, and a farmhouse, and that one increases stamina and movement speed. So my army is broken up into 3 battle groups. I like breaking up my armies, especially with key buildings. So I have a Yari cavalry and a Tavi samurai's unit. Can't really remember what upgrade they had. Probably a melee defense or melee attack. I can't even remember. So I had them to take over the farmhouse. Yep. So that's what happened. I have also 3 lone sword ashigaru, well 2, and a Yari samurai unit, along with 2 Yari cavalry squadrons sneaking up on my enemy along these trees, so they are all hidden. My opponent doesn't know that they are here at all. So I move up my main army, which is composed of 2 bow samurai and 3 Yari samurai. The Yari samurai are spearmen, so they have a big bonus against cavalry. I also have my general, Tavi, and a squadron of Yari cavalry with my main battle group. So my opponent, without even taking this workshop, he decides to move out. I don't know why he thought that my army would be superior to his, because in the center it definitely is not. But nevertheless, he decided to pull back to this hill here. So it's going to be the key buildings versus a gradient. So we'll see who wins that, and you can see his troops are tired already, but they recover before I actually managed to take this place over. So he actually had some troops hidden here. I didn't see that. And my opponent sent his 2 bow cavalry and his general to take over this workshop. He was also oblivious to the fact that I had a sizable number of troops hidden here, right in his doorstep. So they're all still hidden. And there's my general's circle of influence. I focus my general on leadership. So he gives, I can't even remember what type of bonuses, but it's like morale. He's got the rally and inspire ability, and that's what I'm going to focus on in the avatar thing. So my cavalry were seen, and I get them to charge at my opponent's bow cavalry. So they mount again and retreat, but they get caught. And I mean, bow cavalry versus Yari cavalry. Bow cavalry weren't made for melee. So I give chase to his fleeing general, who gets away unharmed. However, his bow cavalry gets sucked into the melee, and one of them has a very poor morale and starts wavering. Meanwhile, he rushes up with his Yari cavalry here, and I wasn't really looking. I just saw them just as they were to attack. So I'm still fighting here, and his bow cavalry managed to retreat, and I will regroup. So you can see my men moving back to capture this workshop. Meanwhile, he charges, and I just saw that, and so my Yari cavalry get caught. However, my Tavi samurais, the elite veterans of my army, are also there. I rush in with my general and my other Yari cavalry while that's happening, and I just keep my main force just sitting here. So his Yari cavalry, without the support of their general, get routed. Even my Yari cavalry squadron that took the brunt of their attack survived. So that's the power of my general. 3 Yari cavalry squadrons routed just like that. So I give chase. And my Tavi samurais, who are generally unhurt, pull back to my main force. So that was the battle of the hidden units. Now both our armies are fully uncovered. My opponent is kind of skirmishing with my Yari cavalry. So I moved them back into the forest to try and lure his bow cavalry back in, and so that they stay out of fire. So by now I have all of the key buildings, so I can, and I get back with my cavalry. The other ones just kinda, oh yes, I send them into this forest here to hide. And I'll use, yeah, they're kind of screening in case my opponent does something unexpected. This is quite a long battle. I mean, most of my battles have been about 5 minutes at most, with swift victories. However, this is kind of, I mean, he does not want to attack me. And I was quite conscious of charging up here. I've not actually gone over his army, so he has 3 Lone Sword Ashigaru, 3 no-dachi samurai, and he's got this little cavalry remnant. So I've already gone over these 2 bow cavalry and his general, who's still not lost a single unit. So he charges them up to my Yari cavalry, who he knew that they were hiding there. But I realised that, or actually I don't know, but I thought that he was charging, so I retreated back to my main force. So yes, his archery units are ranged, are bow samurai and matchlock ashigaru. So he had superior units to mine. I think his rating was 6 stars. I think that's it. So his no-dachi samurai, I didn't actually know their strengths. Now that I have them, I fought with these guys. They're in my army now, basically. And they serve as my shock troops. But in this battle, I didn't even know what their strengths are or anything, which are attack. So they're good. They're good to be used as shock troops, not to hold the line. And my opponent was aware of that. So he had 2 no-dachi on the flanks here, and ones at the back as reserves. So quite a good tactic. I was also quite cautious of his matchlock ashigaru, because firearms are generally very powerful in this game, if used correctly. So we weren't really doing any. So after a rest for my troops, after a short break, my opponent moved up again and shot at my men. So I moved them back again and had a few shots at the general of my opponent with my bow samurai. So he retreated, and I was fed up of just sitting here. So yep, I was moving up. Still had my Yari cavalry in reserve here. Only 28 men left. So they weren't they weren't too crucial. They would just join in the fray. So I joined up battle group 1 with battle group 2. So all my infantry, basically all my army was together. and I don't know what was I waiting for. But here I'm just standing again. I did talk to the guy since he was Polish, so that's probably why I just stopped my army here again. But there he went with his bow cavalry running around, forming up, and his general as well. He lost only 5 men, and as you can see, he has the bow upgrade. I guess a lot of people do get their general the bow upgrade, but I didn't bother with my own. I think leadership's more important for a general than a few bows. Would just increase your general's cost. So I don't think there's much point in that. Speed things up a bit since nothing is happening. This just my troops standing beneath the hill. A fog also gathered to make the encounter look more epic. Whoops. So where's there they are. So I started moving up with my men, and I'm about to go for an all-in charge. So I have superior infantry, although if used right, the no-dachi samurai could be devastating. Compared to lone sword ashigaru, they're no match. So I've got 4 Yari samurai in my main line, joined by my veterans, and 2 lone sword ashigaru with a Yari samurai unit on the right. So I've got in total 5 Yari samurai, 2 lone sword ashigarus, which are peasants. I've always wondered what these balloons on top of my general are. They're not much use for protection. However, I moved up slightly more with my troops, ever so slightly more, and still nothing is happening. I think my opponent started speaking to me again, so let's fast forward. Now I'm moving up with my archers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Getting confused with my controls here. So my archers are firing at my opponent. And his bow cavalry are basically acting as bait, because I don't know why I'm wasting my missiles against him, and the enemy general is also firing at me, at my Yari samurai. So I focus my fire on Sapper PL, which is the general's name. Here he is. With lots of arrows raining upon him. So he retreats with most of his bodyguard destroyed. And even when I'm shooting at him from the back, he's still not losing that many men. So I'm still moving up with my archers. And I started moving up with my samurai and the rest of them. So I'm just kind of encircling my opponent more and more. So now is the big attack. I charged my opponent's bow cavalry with my Yaris, or maybe not, but I'm moving up the hill with my troops. I even ordered my bow samurai, who are in tight formation. They're still ordered to fire at the opponent's general. The matchlock Ashigaru should soon start firing bullets at me. So for some reason my opponent switches with my bow samurai and matchlock Ashigaru. And my battle group of the right wing is advancing right up to the enemy. So here he unleashes a few fire volleys upon my troops. As I charge up the hill with my Yaris. So I have, by now, I've issued attack orders, or not really. I also started firing raining arrows back to diminish the morale of my units, of the enemy, of the opponent's units, ever slightly. And Lone Sword Ashigaru, they were wavering there. Power of guns, they decrease your morale a lot. So my opponent charged with his Lone Sword Ashigaru, and I rallied my men, or not, I don't know. I think I did the inspire, oh no, rapid advance, that's the one, with my samurais, and attack orders were issued by now. Lone Sword Ashigaru are fighting it out in the woods here. So this is a massive fight. No-dachi samurai of my opponent are also fighting in here. And while that's happening, I charge in through the center here. There was a gap. Charge in with my cavalry and hit my opponent's Macho Ashigaru, while the rest are holding the line here. My other Yari cavalry, I don't know where they went, but they also joined the fray. I think that might be no. So my opponent is kind of retreating now. The gradient is turning against him, with a lot of his men routed, and his general is retreating as well. He withdrew so that he doesn't get killed. I don't know, or were they routing? So there it is. Also, I did the rally with my general, and my opponent admitted defeat. So it was a quick rush by my men. My general inspired these guys, a Lone Sword Ashigaru that was wavering at the beginning of the fight, and I won. So good game to Sapper PL, and I'll see you guys next time.